What's new, crew? Welcome to baby meal prep day. At the filming of this, we're 36 weeks. So it's now or never. This needs to happen. So today, the only thing I had on my schedule is to pick up my Walmart grocery haul, which I already filmed. I put away all the cold stuff. I'm leaving the pantry stuff out to save all the extra energy I have to get this meal prepping done. I have my list. I have a general idea of what we're making today. General goals, we're gonna see what happens. I have 3 pounds of chicken in my Instant Pot. We're gonna let those go. And then earlier this morning, I put 2 pounds of ground beef in my crock pot. This is gonna go. This is gonna take a while, so we're not gonna deal with that till later. But what I'm going to work on currently right now while my chicken's going, my beef is going, is I'm going to work on getting 2 soups in my freezer bags here. I think what we're going to do is prep a loaded potato soup, and then we're also going to prep a cheddar and broccoli soup because it uses almost the same ingredients. I also have some ham we're gonna chop up. I pulled out some celery from the garden out of the freezer that I preserved earlier this year for our loaded potato. So I think what we're gonna do is prep the potato recipe first, and we're also gonna get carrots going. So we're just gonna get everything going. My overall thinking for today is to prep a lot of meals that take the same ingredients, so I'm not having to pull so much stuff out at a time. So we're just gonna get these carrots peeled, chopped. We're gonna chop up our potatoes, throw in our celery here, and then I also have some ham. My fridge is looking crazy because of all the meal prep. I kept so much stuff out for grocery shopping, but I also bought this ham from Aldi. We're gonna use this in a ton of meals today, so we're gonna get this whole thing chopped up as well and prep it for throwing handfuls in for a couple different meals that we're going to be working on today. So let's just go ahead and get going. You're going to hear kids running around. It's real life happening here. So let's just go ahead and get going. I like 4 cups of carrots, or just kidding, 2 cups of carrots here. I'm going to split that between 2 soups. But I'm going to dump my celery here into my loaded potato soup bag. And it's nice because I did all this prep work back in the fall, I guess, when I did my celery stuff out of the garden. I'm gonna dump in about half of these carrots. We like our carrots, you know, kind of chunky, home style. I think it helps keep you fuller longer. Now I'm going to start prepping the potatoes. I'm just gonna dice them all up here, and then I'll give them a good rinse, dump them in the bag. Gonna add our ham, and then this is going to be our loaded, just kidding, what is this gonna be? My broccoli soup. So I've got my other half of the carrots here. I'm gonna dump these in. I like to leave my broccoli soup very chunky and rustic. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. I'll link this recipe for the broccoli soup down below. I found it this summer and I love it. I'm just gonna add in everything except the liquid and the chicken stock. So we're gonna get these going, and then I'm also going to be adding in some of this ham to both of those soups. The recipe does not call for that, I don't think, in either soup, but I really like to add it. Or we'll add bacon if we have bacon, but we were on the list to order a pig, but we order from our neighbors, which we love to do, and unfortunately for us, but great for them, they accidentally oversold, which I'm so happy for them that that was an issue that they have. So we volunteered to wait and not get a fall pig, but to get a spring pig instead. So I'm just gonna be buying my pork for the next couple of months, which is fine. And then to cook these soups, I'll either throw them in my Dutch oven on the stove, or I'll throw them in my crock pot in the morning. It's really just gonna depend on the day, maybe the way I feel, but the good thing about these soups is, realistically, with leftovers, this is gonna feed us for a handful of meals, lunches, dinners, whatever. So that's awesome, loving that. So my goal is to get 12 freezer meals total in the freezer before the baby comes. I think right now I'm sitting at 6 because with leftovers, 12 prepped meals will probably actually be more like 15 or 16. So I'm gonna get these rinsed and throw them in the bag. All right, rinsed potatoes, those are going in. I'm gonna cut up the ham next. I'm gonna cut up the whole ham. I'm saving my onions for last because onions kill me. So I'm gonna flip my board here. And I'm just gonna get this whole ham cut up. That way it's prepped. And then I'm gonna grab a small bowl to put all this cubed ham in. It is pre-sliced, which is nice, which would make it really great for doing breakfast sandwiches or something like that too. But you know what? I think I'm gonna do about half of this. And then if I need more, I just dice up the other half. All right, this should be, I think, enough ham for the next couple of meals. I need this for some quiche that we're gonna be doing. We're making a cheddar cheese and broccoli quiche, but I'm gonna add some of this ham to it, just get some protein, well, some extra protein in it, not just eggs, like some actual meat. Because I think my family will eat it better if I have some meat in it. So there's that. I'm gonna go grab a dreaded onion and get some of that diced up for chickens. Are gonna be really happy today because I'm gonna have a big old scrap bowl for them at the end of the day here. Which is great. My chickens need all the extra little oomph that they can get right now because they are molting. And I want them to get as many feathers back before the freeze as they possibly can. I have some chickens that look really, really, really rough right now. So that's not the best. So I've been trying to give them as much extra as I can these days to make sure that by the time it really freezes, they'll be in a much better position. Because feathered chickens do great. Unfeathered chickens, I mean, you can imagine what it would be like standing out in a snowstorm with no boots on and no jacket versus, you know, having a nice warm jacket on. Makes all the difference. So I'm gonna put half of this onion in each bag. Well, just kidding, I don't think my broccoli soup needs that much onion, but I am gonna put a lot of onion in this loaded potato one. And then I'm gonna rinse everything and wash my hands and say goodbye to the dreaded onions. This is the very last of my garden broccoli. I'm just gonna dump this in to this bag. And then this broccoli soup will be done too. So I'll have 2 soups ready to go. And then if you've been following, you know I have some prepped homemade bread in the freezer as well. So that'll be a good meal, just some bread and soup. Perfect. And then all I have to do is add the liquid when I dump it into the pot or into the Dutch oven to bake. So I wanted to start with these because they were super easy, minimal work, and good results. So we're gonna pop those in the freezer. This is what I'm going to be working on next. I will link it down below, but it's just a broccoli and cheddar quiche. I'm also gonna be adding in that ham that we prepped, but it takes some eggs, which we all know I'm constantly trying to use up eggs because of the chickens. So we're gonna double this recipe. I have my frozen pie crusts here, and we're gonna do this because I'm pretty sure I can get these made, wrap them, get them in the freezer. I think I'm gonna bake them and let them cool. But I'm pretty sure I can get these in the oven. I'm pretty sure that I can get these in the oven before my chicken is done, and then I can put together my chicken pot pies. So we're gonna be doubling this recipe, but like I said, I will link it down below. I'm living dangerously. I'm not gonna quite measure, but I'm gonna say this is 4 cups of broccoli florets. I just bought a big bag of frozen broccoli. So I threw in my broccoli, salt, pepper. I threw in about a handful, 2 handfuls of that ham. I'm getting ready to dump in 2 cups of heavy cream, and just remember I'm doubling this recipe, but I will have it linked down below. I keep saying that, but 2 cups of heavy cream, delicious. It also calls for 2 cups of shredded cheddar, which I happen to have right. It also wants 2 cups of shredded cheddar. I'm just gonna do the good old hand test. 1, 2. I'm gonna throw in 4 eggs and a chopped onion, mix it up, pour it into my pre-made frozen pie crust, and pop them in the oven. And that's another 2 meals that we'll have baking. And then once they're baked, I'm gonna let them cool, wrap them, get them in the freezer. So that's these, and I'm thinking I might save one of these and have my family eat it tonight for dinner, so I don't have to worry about dinner later today. But we'll see what happens. I might end up saving a pot pie or something, so we're gonna see how that ebbs and flows. I'm gonna mix this up with 4 eggs, but mine are all sorts of different shapes and sizes because that's what real chicken eggs are like, or non-store bought chicken eggs. They're not all uniform. So I'm gonna mix this, and if it doesn't seem like enough eggs to me, I think I'm gonna throw in another 2 because I had some small ones just on the top of my egg basket, so I might add in some more eggs. But it looks really good. I'm excited to eat this. It looks like it's gonna be a really good meal. I might save this just because it looks so good. And this is a new recipe for us. I know that might be kind of dangerous, prepping meals that we've never had before for after the baby, but it has everything in it that my family likes, and I really need to use up some eggs. We are drowning right now. We've been donating a ton to the food pantry, but we still have quite a bit of eggs. This looks good. I think I'm gonna skip dicing an onion. I'm just gonna throw in some onion powder in this because I'm just feeling a little lazy right now. Let's read the actual cooking instructions for this quiche. It turns out you don't just dump everything in a bowl and mix her together. So, whoops. I'm still just gonna dump them in my pie crust and bake them. It says 45 to 50 minutes at 350, I'm pretty sure is what it said. That's what I'm gonna do. I think it'll still turn out and be fine, so that's what I'm gonna do. The chicken in my Instant Pot also just dinged at me that it's ready, so I might have time to throw together some pot pies before I have to pause and get some of my kids on the bus. Here are our quiches. Look how stunning those look. I think this will be a really fun idea for Thanksgiving to bring as I don't know, a side or something. Very fun. So I'm gonna get these in the oven. One is a little bit more full than the other, so I'm hoping this one doesn't bake over. So, but really excited about these. I'm excited to smell these while they cook too. I'm gonna have to pause right here to get kids on the bus. So I'm feeling happy about that. I have my pot pie filling prepped. I just need to make the gravy and pour the gravy on top. But I am going to put the filling in both of my pie crusts, and then I'm gonna pour the gravy over the filling that's already in the pie crust. That way I don't overflow it, and each pie or each pot pie will get a good amount of gravy, if that makes sense. I don't want to make the same mistakes I made with the quiche. I also decided to bake the quiche on top of a really large cookie sheet. That way, in case it does spill over, it doesn't drip all over the bottom of my oven. Not that my oven is clean anyways, but just so I don't have to stop in the middle of doing all this to clean that up. So I'm gonna pause, get kids on the bus. I think I'm gonna empty my dishwasher because I haven't done that yet today. And that way, as we're going, we can get stuff in the dishwasher and hopefully minimize cleanup as much as possible. But so far we have 2 soups in the freezers, 2 quiches in the oven, followed by 2 more pot pies that are going to be going in the oven. So already I'm feeling really good. Getting more meals in the freezer, which is awesome. We're going to be using this ground beef to make probably 1 or 2, probably 1 big tater tot casserole. I have my pans over here that we're going to be using, so I've got those. And then we're gonna see what happens. I want to get a breakfast casserole in the pans as well. I got hash browns, eggs, throw in whatever ham I have left and get that in the oven. Or I don't think I'm gonna bake it. I might bake it, put it in the oven. I don't know what I'm doing, but we're getting things done. That makes me feel good. You guys, look how stunning these quiche turned out. If they taste anywhere as near as good as they smell, they're gonna be delicious. I'm really tempted to break into one of these for lunch. It's right around noon. Yeah, it's 5 to noon. So I'm gonna let these cool. And I'm just gonna wrap these and get these in the freezer. I have no idea how these are gonna portion out. If this is gonna be more like a lunch or a dinner, if we're gonna need 1 or 2. I'm not really sure yet how that's going to pan out, but these look really, really good. And I was thinking as I was pulling them out, next time I make these, I might also experiment and throw in like some carrots and stuff. But I think this is gonna be a really good meal even in the summertime. When all the garden vegetables are coming in, you can just throw in like literally anything you want. So another meal good to go. It smells awesome in my house. I'm getting some water going for the gravy for our pot pies. The pot pie filling is already prepped and in the fridge. It's just waiting for us. Then I went to go start getting ready to pull things together to make my tater tot casserole, and I realized I don't have any tater tots. I thought I had ordered them from Walmart and that they were gonna be like with my grocery order stuff. Turns out I paid for them, but I didn't get them. And I also paid for peanut butter and I didn't get peanut butter, so I think I'm missing a couple bags. It's fine. I already contacted Walmart. They know. They're gonna give me my stuff back, so it's no worries. But in the meantime, I'm meal prepping today. So I already have my ground beef that's like cooked and ready to go in here. I decided what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a really simple lasagna. I don't have ricotta or anything like that that you would put in between the layers, but that's okay. I think I'm just gonna make a basic meat sauce, some cheese. I've got mozzarella and cheddar in my fridge. I also have a little bit of parm, so we're just gonna make it just like a super basic lasagna and get that going. So I already filled this pot up with water this morning because I thought I was gonna have to boil noodles for my tater tot casserole, but we're just gonna make some lasagna instead. No problem there. So that's kind of where we're at. And then I'm kind of thinking while these are going, I'm gonna throw together that hash brown recipe that I have. And then once that's done, I think I might be done. I'm just going to get the pot pies together, get those in the oven, let those go until they're, well, actually, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to fill them, let them cool, and wrap them. Our pot pies are done. I'm gonna leave these topless, I think, to make my life a little bit easier. And then that way, if I feel like it, the day I make these, I can whip up a pie crust and throw the fresh crust on top if I really felt like it. But I'm gonna leave these open just to make my life easier today. So I'm gonna let these cool just for a couple minutes because that gravy is hot. And I'm gonna get ready to wrap up the quiche that we made, these 2 pot pies, and then I'm just waiting for my water to boil so we can get our lasagna going, or the pasta going for our lasagna. I just got our quiche and our pot pies wrapped up and put in the freezer, and I counted. I am at 13 meals, which feels fantastic to be like at my goal where I want to be. So let's just recap here. I have 2 meatloaves that we did in a previous video. We have the 2 pot pies, the 2 quiche. These are a thing of cinnamon rolls. I have 2 apple crisps, but we're not going to count those, but they're in there. I also, back here, have 3 loaves of homemade bread. I'm hoping to get another 2 loaves, maybe 3 in the freezer before baby, but that can be a different day. And then I came down here where we're keeping the other bagged meals. We have our broccoli soup, our loaded potato soup. This is a batch of a big whole gallon bag of spaghetti sauce that I prepped. I got some sloppy joes that I prepped. I didn't film me doing those. I just did those like passively in my crock pot over the weekend. I have some taco meat in here with beef, rice, and corn. And then we have 2 things of burgers that we did together as well. So lots of meals happening, which feels really good. Plus we'll get a lasagna in here today as well. So I'm sitting really, really well, which makes me feel so much better. This was stressing me out so much, you guys, I can't even tell you. My husband was like, so just forget about everything else. Just take a day and just spend the day in the kitchen and get it done. And he was right. So there we go. We finished it off. It feels really good. And we have a really good variety in here too, which feels nice. I didn't want to be feeling like we were eating the same meal over and over again. So that makes me happy. And then I do have time to get some extra meals in here as well. I really want to get some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the fridge. I can have my girls help me do that though. They love to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, so trust me, it will not be a chore for them. I went to go edit this video and realized I never filmed an outro, which is very common for me these days. But what ended up happening is Colt hopped up on the counter with me after we got Lakin on the bus, and he wanted to help me build the lasagna, so I ended up turning the camera off and just like really spending that couple of minutes with him. And it's really cute just because he's at that really fun age. He's almost 3, so he wants to get up in the kitchen, and I love when my kids want to get up in the kitchen and help me. So whenever they do, I tend to just like shut the cameras off and hang out with them and just really enjoy getting whatever we're doing done. So he helped me process those 2 lasagnas. We got those in the freezers. Everything's wrapped up. And I cannot tell you how relaxed and how good it feels to have all those meals in the freezer for the baby. This is the most prepared I've ever been food-wise for after the baby or postpartum, so it feels great. I have a couple more things I want to get in the freezer, but at this point, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm really happy with what I was able to get in there. I'm really happy that I was able to film it for you guys and bring you guys along kind of in a more realistic fashion of how things really just went down, trying to get things in the freezer for the baby. Sitting at this point, I'm 36 weeks and some odd days, and I'm just gonna take the next couple of days to focus on my house and very casually getting things done, but you guys don't care about that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, coming along with me on this video. I know it was a long one, but we got a lot of great things done today. All those recipes I will have linked down below for you guys, down in the description box. Thank you guys so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to hang out with me. It always means so much to me, and I will catch you guys in another video. Bye.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.